All right, welcome back to the Run.down post-game show here on the Strickland YouTube channel. If you're listening, this is the day after the Strickland Podcast Network. The Knicks lose their first game of the season to the Boston Celtics, 108-104. But before we get into that, we are brought to you by Bet Online. The last of the major pro sports leagues kicks off this week, and Bet Online is your top spot for all your NBA action this season. With MLB postseason, NFL, and college football and NHL in full swing, Bet Online is your number one source for wagering news, odds, trends, and predictions. Get everything NBA at your fingertips with both desktop and mobile access for every sport, anytime. Head to the Bet Online Head to the Bet Online today to get in on the action. Don't forget to use promo code BLEAV, that's BLEAV, to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet Online, where the game starts. I swear there was a word missing. It said head to the Bet Online
I
instead
think
of
it's
head
the
to
Bet
the
Online
Bet
app.
app.
Yeah.
All right. But anyways, Knicks lose 108-104. I am Sam as always. I am joined by Schwinny Poo and Tyrese. That's at London's Theory. Yeah. IQ and RJ carrying us to a W almost carrying us to a W in the first game of the season. Did not see that coming. Well, maybe you did if you're a true believer of this team or its young players. But yeah, I mean, I think we should start off with the positives before we get into all the negatives.
Let's start with the negatives. Can we start with the negatives?
Yeah,
There's a lot though.
No, I want to start out with the biggest negative of the game tonight. I want to start out with that fucking joke of a broadcast. I don't know what the fuck I was listening to the entire game. Doris Burke was
about to have a stroke about Porzingis in the fourth quarter.
She didn't have a stroke the entire game. I don't know what the hell she was talking about the entire game. The entire night, she's sitting there talking about the Boston Celtics like we're watching the 96 Bulls. Like they're about to win 72 games. And she's like, oh my God, the pressure they put on you. Drew Holidays, he's such a leader. Look at him dribble the ball off his fucking chode. Like, shut up. Like, what the fuck are you? Like, that was an absolute disgraceful broadcast. And then literally on every 50-50 call, this is the most amazing thing, right? Doc Rivers has played for this, or he coached the Celtics to a championship. So if you're expecting one person on this broadcast to just be like a total shill for the Celtics, it would be him, right? It would be Doc. Doc was somehow way more rational than she was. Like that fourth quarter, she was actually about to cry
for the Porzingis call.
Yeah, like he was like,
what did he do?
Yeah, like what is he supposed to do? I don't know. Like you're probably not supposed to wildly sling your So the way that I saw that play, right? They're battling for it. Hartenstein fouls him, so he swings his arm the first time. All right, they call the foul. Then he swings it a second time, and you can see him cock the elbow back and like clear out. And like, sure, if you want to say it's a little bit harsh, fine. But like, she's acting like it was like the worst call that's ever happened in issue kind. And then she calls the Quickley one. She was like, "Oh no, I thought that was a foul for sure." And she was like, she's like, "Oh, see, he goes A to B," and Todd was like, "I mean, you're always going to A to B, but like, I don't really know that's a foul." She's like, "Well, he's not vertical and he's sideways." I'm like, "You're fucking an idiot." I thought that was I have no idea why she ever does Knicks games. Apparently she's a Knicks fan. I think she's as much of a Knicks fan as Stephen A is. So like, I just thought that was a disgrace. It was a complete joke to have to listen to that. And like, I couldn't believe some of the commentary from her during this game. And then the only thing that she ever wanted to talk about the Knicks, the only thing she talked about in the pregame and the only thing she talked about at the very end of the fucking game when it was obvious the Celtics were going to win is she's like, "Oh, so what do you think about the Knicks ceiling?" Why are we talking about the Knicks ceiling in the middle of the fucking game? Like, really? Yeah. Also, like this is the only time we can talk about the ceiling of this. Like, how is this the appropriate conversation to have right now? You know, this game's pretty interesting. I like all these additions Celtics have made. The Knicks, what do we think about their playoff ceiling? Like, what the fuck? It's the first game of the season. I just thought it was
totally normal conversation.
It was a complete disgrace, and I don't know. I can't wait to watch a game on MSG. Hopefully,
it's like she's like trying to if she is a Knicks fan, it's like she's trying to overcompensate by like trying not to have a bias by having a bias in like the opposite direction in the worst way possible.
Like some people I know in this community. But like I just it made no sense. A lot of the commentary was just super biased, and I just kind of feel like like if you're gonna have a commentary team that's like unbiased. It's just appreciating the game. Like you have, I get it, Mike Breen, MSG, got it. But like Mike Breen is never like Mike Breen on ESPN commentary versus Mike Breen on like MSG commentary is the same dude. I'm surprised he likes the Knicks because sometimes he'll just be like, you know what, Clyde, this guy is just like such a really good player, yada yada blah blah blah. But like Doris Burke, for whatever reason, is Celtics homer. Like she's just Bill Simmons for them. I don't get it, man. I really don't.
Yeah. Well, all right. Since we're gonna stick with the negatives, let's talk about our two stars, I would say.
No, let's talk about that one fat fuck named Julius Randle first.
Okay, but like I just the last thing in the commentary, I will say, like, I don't know. I actually thought Doc was fine. I didn't think Doc was that bad. Like I think
Doc's all right.
Commentary. Doc's fine. I just and like I can kind of understand.
He's done commentary before too, so it's
I get why he would be a little bit biased towards the Celtics. Like that one is like I get it. And I didn't even think he was that biased towards them. I really didn't.
I thought he commentated pretty good about the Knicks. He spoke pretty well about us, so I didn't have a problem with him.
I thought he was fine. I thought Breen was obviously Breen. Although Breen is slowly like either going deaf or losing his eyesight because he was so confused about that jump ball. He was like, I don't know what they're calling here. I'm like, dude, they're pretty obviously calling the jump ball. He was so confused for like 35 seconds. But yeah, I just think Doris was like, I don't know. The less Doris, the less the Knicks play on ESPN, the happier I'll be. Because between Doris and the broadcast,
the better we get, the less that will happen.
Between Doris and the broadcast and Stephen A in the studio, like I can't do the ESPN broadcast at all. I just changed the channel during the halftime and it's brutal. And maybe I might just start watching these fucking games on mute.
All right, let's get into Tyrese's favorite basketball player, Julius.
He fucking sucked. Like, what do you like? He I get it. Like this, like 22 shots, and you make 5 of them, bro. Like, what are we doing? Like, the threes were great. 4 missed free throws. This game was atrocious. Like, I don't even care about the 7 assists to no turnovers. Like, great job. You didn't turn the ball over. You didn't dribble it off your dick. And that was very lenient because it
was also very lucky that he didn't turn the ball over.
He had some wildly 2019-esque drives where he was like dribbling the ball off his.
How can they say he didn't turn the ball over? I vividly remember a turnover in the fourth quarter where he drove in, tried to like go through Drew, got stripped. Like how is that not a turnover?
I'm pretty sure because like they got it back.
Oh my god!
So they don't count it, and I'm like, come on. That's
bull. The MSG scorekeeper was definitely on one today. They had the Knicks down for 24 assists as a team, which let's just say I'm not sure I buy that number.
Really, 24? How is that even possible?
The Celtics had 18. What?
The Celtics did not play well.
They didn't.
Yeah. Anyway, let's stick to the Knicks. We'll talk about the Celtics at the end or whenever.
Yeah, I don't know what he was doing. Like there was some sort of defensive effort in like the first quarter, which was like good to see. I like the fact he was active in passing lanes, and then that's kind of it. Like, great, you were able to like get rebounds, but like you weren't even able to like you had 11 rebounds, 4 offensive, and I still kind of feel like you let so many offensive rebounds go to the Celtics.
Yeah, and there was a bunch that Julius let get by him.
They only had 7, but it felt like every time there was a huge offensive rebound, it was because Julius forgot to box out.
I'm just looking at this box score now for the first time. This thing's fucking crazy. The Knicks outshot the Celtics from 3. They got 18 of 41. They went 12 of 39. We took 97 shots. They took 77.
That's insane.
They had 13 turnovers. We had 9 turnovers. We literally lost this game at the free throw line. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, free throws are going to be our bane again. It seems this year.
But they like. It's one thing if I don't need them to be a great free throw shooting team, but I need Brunson to make fucking technical free throws. I need Randle to not. What was he? 1 of 5 from the fucking free throw line today.
You need 4 or 5, and I'm chilling.
Yeah. He was 1 of 5 from the line. Okay, Brunson 0 for 1. I don't know how Brunson didn't even get to the line more than that, but whatever. Grimes missed his 1 free throw. Hart missed a free throw. Hartenstein missed a free throw. Like Mitchell Robinson missing 2 free throws. I don't even count his free throw shooting as part of the team's total. That's like a separate thing.
Separate entity.
Yeah, it's a separate entity. You just if he makes them, great. If not, you just
They're like a bonus.
yeah. But this was like, I mean, I don't even know what to say. Like I just it's just to stick with Randall. Like it was just the decision made. I again like to Tyrese's point. Anybody that watched this, if you watched this game, like I never want to go back in time at the end of this year, right? We're looking back at like games or something. I don't want to hear somebody be like, "Oh man, like this was a pretty good game from Julius." Be like, "No, it wasn't. It was actually terrible. His decision making was awful." That first quarter, him and RJ were like on first half, I guess I should say, and maybe like the first 2.5 quarters of the game, they were on some weird mission to just like, how many times can we make Kristaps Porzingis look like Wemby? How many times can we make him look like Bill Russell right now? Because they just kept going right at him, and it was like, dude, you're not even dislodging him. If you try to go through him, fine. But you're trying to like do all this fucking finesse bullshit. Like, what are you jacked for? Like, what are you jacked for? Like, go through the fucking guy. And then Julius had the one on a fast break in the first half where he like blew by somebody. I don't remember who it was. You're like, this is a dunk. This is a dunk. And he goes for a layup, which he goes for a toss. Yeah, it was ridiculous. I just couldn't believe it.
He's going for finesse points.
And then like the worst part about this game for me, for Julius, and this is what will like you can't capture this in a box score. There were so fucking many times he had an open three and he would just pump, do some bullshit dribble,
win-win give.
Fucking do his little Beyblade bullshit into the fucking lane.
2019. It's the haircut, man. It's the haircut.
He needs the hair to come back. And then the final thing I will say,
the Skechers.
It was infuriating. I think it was a three. It might have been the three that were the first three that Porzingis made in the first or in the fourth quarter. And he did this a lot of times on the pick and roll. He will go like they'll bring him into the action, and then he like traps. But he's clearly supposed to either recover, like he's supposed to recover to his man, but then he just stands there. So then like Hartenstein has to try to make this crazy rotation where he clearly can't get out to Porzingis in time. And Porzingis cashed like 2 or 3 threes that way. And it's like, I actually thought in general he played a good defensive game, actually. Like I thought in general his defense was okay. It's fine. Like it would, let's put it this way. It was better than 2022-23 Julius defensive effort tonight. But like you have those plays, those specific plays where they're targeting you because they know you're fucking lazy. That's what that is. They're targeting you because they know you're fucking lazy. They bring you into the action because they know you're lazy, and you give it to them. Like there's no excuse for that. There's no excuse for that. This is game one. It's game one of the season. You're playing a team who theoretically is either one you view as a rival or two you should view as kind of a benchmark for your team, a team that you should be. This is the team that we have to beat this team if we want to be what we hope to be. I mean, this guy was fucking out there, right? And Jimmy Fallon, or the fuck it was, talking about every year is a wasted year if it's not a championship. Okay, well then fucking play like it, because those plays where they're targeting you because they know you suck at defending pick and roll. You suck as soon as you're brought into the action. Those are the plays that kill you in the playoffs. Those are the plays that teams can target and the best teams will target. And he got targeted when they needed buckets tonight. That's what they did. They absolutely roasted him when they needed buckets. And you know, I have a lot more sympathy. Like, okay, if Hartenstein has trouble, you know, playing drop or covering back out to like Porzingis or whatever, like I have a lot more sympathy for that. That's a tough cover. That's a tough cover for him, for any center, really. You know, I don't have sympathy for Julius where it's just like, oh, I didn't really want to go back to Tatum over there, so I guess you're gonna have to do it, buddy. Like, it's just bullshit. Like, you're just hanging out your teammates to dry, and I can't stand that shit. Like, I can even deal with some of the offensive bullshit tonight if he played some like, oh wow, what a fucking heroic defensive effort. But it wasn't that. It was like you saw better effort than you saw last year, but you still saw the bullshit. And you know, like, thank God the Celtics can't dribble or pass or any of that shit, because it would have been a lot worse if they could.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, with Julius, I mean, there was definitely a lot of 2019 vibes, as Schwinn was alluding to, with a lot of what he was saying. Hopefully that can change. it's early on. Hopefully we can cut out these bad habits. I mean, it was very interesting because like in the preseason, I don't know, preseason it felt kind of weird just because like the way that their minutes were played, so we didn't really get to see that much of Julius, I guess. But like preseason defensively, I know a lot of people made the comments of him. He looked more engaged and he looked more active out there. So I don't know if it was just a preseason thing or if it's something that's going to pick up during the regular season. We'll see. Or it's the Skechers, or it's the haircut, or it's everything combined. Shout out to everyone that's leaving comments. We will get to comments very soon as we are putting them up on the screen as we pass by. We also do have super chats, so if you would like to support us that way, that is another way to help us out over here and get your comment highlighted even quicker. Do we want to stick with the negatives? Do we want to go to our $100 million?
We gotta do our. This is like our thing is being negative. Yeah. So like, what are we talking about here?
But I want to talk about.
No, Sam, this isn't your show. This is Tyrese and mine show.
Facts.
I want to talk
You
about.
missed all the preseason. I need you to.
All right.
These are rookie numbers.
I missed 2 preseason games.
That's half the preseason, bro.
I know. I was sick for one, and I was on a date for the other one.
Yeah,
but
you're out here
these are all right. These are valid reasons to.
No, it's not.
Preseason. I'm here for
guys. Sorry, I have to date. I'm just such a fucking player.
Like,
I'm
get
such
out
a player, guys.
I'm here for game 1 of the regular season. That
matters. All right, no, we're sticking to negative. We'll get to half.
All right, we'll stick to negatives. Okay, so all right, our $100 million point guard that we did pay money to.
Can I just want. He didn't run like you. If you go back and watch that first quarter, he didn't run a play. There was no plays being run. It was just like, it was like legit. Just
clear out.
It was like set me a pick. And you could visibly see the rest of the team was just like, where do you want us to go right now? Like, what do you want us to do?
They looked very lost on a lot.
Yeah, they looked super lost. He kept jacking up these shots, and then like he like suddenly realized he hadn't made one. So then he did this, like he ran this kind of pick and pop for Julius. Julius actually made the 3 because he didn't hesitate. It was amazing. And then he got that assist, and he was like, okay, great. Let's get back to it. And he took like 3 shots.
Got my assist out the way, guys.
Yeah. He like bricked 3 straight shots. It was awful. I mean, he didn't get into a rhythm because he was forcing it. But nobody else on the team got into a rhythm because of that. And like I do wonder, I do feel like some of Julius's just like really awful decision making probably had to do with some of just like not feeling involved enough. And I'm not excusing it, but it's like that's kind of what you needed Brunson. But like that's what you need Brunson to do at times. Is like, hey man, get Randle the ball so he feels loved, and get RJ the ball, like doing his thing.
It's so funny because you would think that they figured out the chemistry from last year to like, come into this year with, those kinks kind of removed.
Well, I think some of this is like because you didn't play Brunson much at all in preseason, he's still kind of like working himself back, and that's cool, but like this is kind of what it looks like. I mean, and we saw this last year. If you go back and watch that first game against Memphis, he didn't have a good game. Yeah. He played a pretty bad game. And by the way, the last 2 times the Knicks have missed the playoffs, they've lost the season opener. So we are making the playoffs again, motherfucker. But like, it was really, and you could tell they were not together. They were like, it was all very isolated actions. And I know in general offense is already kind of like that, but this was to another level. And the only good stretch they had collectively as a group was that random 10-point surge they went on in the third quarter, which was like a lot of turnovers and they just got out on the open floor. But yeah, I thought this was an awful Brunson game, to be honest. Like I know he had a bad last preseason game. This actually was slightly better than that. I don't know what that means. But like, I'm not worried about him at all, but it's just annoying because ultimately, like, the things that cost you this game are the bad free throw shooting, yes, but like Brunson and Randle were awful. But what did they shoot from the field combined? So I know Brunson was 6 of 21. and
they
Randall was
were
5 of 22. So they were combined 11 of
11 of
43 from the
40.
field. The rest of the team was what, 25 of 54. Like that's actually pretty decent. Like it's just they gave you
You
nothing.
take that shooting night from the supporting guys every single night, basically.
They gave you nothing. They were awful tonight, and you were still probably should have won the game anyway. But like it's hard to win games when your two guys, your two main guys, are doing nothing, and then you compare that, to the Celtics where it's like, okay, Drew didn't have a great game, obviously, right? He only went 10 for 9 points, but
Classic Drew Holiday.
but like Jason Tatum, 13-22, 34 points. Kristaps, 8 of 15, 30 points. By the way, Kristaps played 38 minutes tonight. Joe Mazzulla's a fucking moron.
He played him for the whole first quarter. That was insane.
He used this challenge on the dumbest fucking like. What was that in the first quarter of the game?
Stupid
On
weasel.
like they were up 11. He used it on some ridiculous out of bounds goal. I'm like, do you really need this possession that badly right now? But yeah, it was just he played awful. He is. I will say, like in general, I thought our defense as a group was actually pretty solid, even Brunson included. I think he had a couple of good steals. I thought his rotations were on point.
It helps that the Celtics can't dribble.
That helps a lot. They also just make really stupid decisions all the time.
Yes.
But yeah, like I just thought our defense was actually pretty solid, especially considering what we saw in that Wizards game, which I don't know what the hell that was. But yeah, like it was just a bad game from both those guys. And you can sit here and talk about like I didn't think Mitch had a very good game. Honestly, I think RJ like 8 of 20, 24 points. He was fine, but
offensively,
you still felt like some of those decisions where he's driving to the hoop. You're like, dude, you're testing Porzingis for what? Like, what is the point of this?
He got that one scoop layup on him, and he was like, "All right, let's keep going at it."
Yeah, like
we gotta keep going.
Like Quickley made some questionable decisions driving to the rim, and it's like, but the thing is, I could live with the RJ and Quickley stuff because if they play like that, and those two and Brunson and Randall just have average games, you win this game probably like 8-9 points. Like you're probably cruising there in the last couple of minutes of the game. So, really, just complete letdown from them. And I know there are people in here asking about the rotations and stuff, but like honestly, if you look at this, like what was so bad? I'm honestly like not sure. What was
the
so
only
bad.
thing I can see people, I guess, criticizing is taking out RJ when he had it going, I guess, in the fourth.
I don't give a fuck about that. What?
But like,
Grimes
still gave
like,
you.
He would have played like 16 straight minutes to close the game, though.
Yeah, and Grimes still gave you good production in his minutes that he came in for RJ too. So
Grimes should have been closing.
Yeah, that was a weird sub. I didn't like that one.
Like you had a run, like the fourth quarter was a run of Quickley and Grimes, and like that unit was Quickley, Grimes, Brunson, Randall. I think Ihart.
If we're being real, the guy that shouldn't have closed tonight is Julius. Like, yeah, flat out. That's really who shouldn't have closed tonight. And again, like it's the first game of the season, so I really like if anybody's super like upset, I would say don't be. Like the Hawks lost to the Hornets tonight. Just throwing that out there.
Check out Trey and DeJounte's box scores if you want to have a good laugh.
Sam lost money on a parlay on DeJounte.
Top 6, bro. Top 6.
Sam had DeJounte in a parlay.
Hell no. I know better. I know better. Better.
But yeah,
no,
like
I see some of your bets.
No,
I see some of your
some of these players I know better. Like from last year, I know that.
Clip this next time I see Sam in the TL talking about a DeJounte Murray over under.
You'll never see me complain about DeJounte Murray. I will be laughing at his ass. I do not care about him.
I will remember this, and next time I see fuck DeJounte, I need 3 more points. I will remember this shit.
Yeah, I mean, like I thought that the rest of the team, like honestly, like nobody was perfect, but you're gonna take
guys had their moments tonight.
You're gonna take what the guys 3 through 9 gave you tonight on the whole every night. Like if you told me collectively, forget who did what. If you told me collectively, that 3 to 9 gives you exactly what they did tonight on average, I'm taking that the rest of the season. That's fucking great. Like I'm very, very happy with that.
Against most teams, that's a dub.
Yeah, we need our 2 franchise guys to be the franchise. That's how that works. So I actually thought Tibbs was fine tonight. I actually kind of liked the rotation he did with RJ, where RJ is the first one out now, and they put in Hart. And then RJ comes back in to close. He closed the first and second and third quarters, right? So he comes back in with that Quickley group. I like that rotation. I think that's a good rotation. And I actually thought he coached a pretty decent game where there's some weird Tibbs stuff. Like, sure, like, did he wait too long?
Going to be.
Yeah, there's always going to be some weird Tibbs stuff.
I thought his fourth quarter was atrocious. I feel like he should have rolled the unit that got them back into the game a little longer. Like, I don't understand why you sub out.
When did he bring Randle back in?
I'll double check
or something, right?
No, I think it was earlier. It might have been 8. And I mean, just like, you should have rolled that more.
Well, if there's one thing I don't even care about that. The one thing I actually disagreed with him doing, and I didn't understand it, was they took the ball out of Quickley's hands. And like, he was cooking. He was cooking. Like, and then they went into the Brunson thing. And I get that. Like, I
like
get
you're
it.
trying to get Brunson going in the fourth or whatever it is. But like,
it's like, dude,
it's not worth it at this point.
Quickley had it going. He hit a fucking step back in Derek White's dumbass face. And then he didn't initiate a set after that. And it's just like, I don't really, like the next play he made after, like, then he steals the inbounds pass. Like, he made this, like, and he was just like, okay, now it's Brunson time. And it's like, well, is it Brunson time though? Is it? Are we sure it's Brunson time? And then he wouldn't have pulled Grimes if Grimes made that fucking 3, by the way. If Grimes made that 3, he wouldn't have pulled him.
Yeah, which is like dumb. Like
I agree it's dumb, but I know that's exactly what I was brain with.
But that's just my thing. I don't understand. Like, that unit was cooking. Randle came back in with 7:24 left in the game, but even still, like, they had the lead. Quickly hits the floater. Quickly hits the step back, and then just shit down the court.
Let's see. All right, so Randle.
Yeah, I mean,
Randle comes back in 7:24. I like I don't know. I get why he takes RJ out though, because RJ had played what? Like, he was about to play
a lot of minutes.
And RJ came back in with what, 2 minutes left? Or something like that?
He came back in with 2 minutes and 34 seconds left.
So he played 36 minutes tonight. So you're saying like he was about to play a 16-minute stretch. Like, I'm okay if tonight he was just like, this is my rotation. Let me see what it looks like. And to be fair to him, this is legit the first time he's had all 9 guys. He hasn't had that the entire way. He didn't have them preseason, not one time. And he obviously this is the first game of the year. Like,
no Jericho Sims at the
there was no Jericho Sims, which I know everybody was freaking out about. Like, I'm okay with that. Like, if this was him just being like, look, this is what I want my rotation to be. Let's see what the fuck it is. I'm okay with that. And at the end of the day, like, we can sit here and bitch about the rotation. Like, and if Julius is really struggling for the next 2 weeks or something, and he persists in the same thing and won't change it, then I think it's something to talk about. But in a one-off game, I think it's okay. And I think it's okay to just be like, hey, look, maybe Julius and Brunson shouldn't play like fucking shitters. And that's it. Like, I don't know. I have a really tough time coming down super hard on Tibbs here when I think, like, first of all, I thought his defensive adjustments after the first quarter were awesome. They scored 78 points in the last 3 quarters of the game. Yep. And most of that was at the end of that fourth quarter where it's like, if you're fouling, I thought he made really good defensive adjustments. And I thought he showed a lot of faith in Quickley throughout this game. Like, I know that down the stretch, he should have maybe put the ball in his hands a little bit more, but a lot of people obviously have been concerned, like, well, is Quickley going to lose minutes? Like, what does this mean? Like, I don't think he's a good player. I don't think Tibbs is bullshitting when he's like, I love Quick. Like, yeah, dude, he does. He played him a fucking shit ton of minutes last year. He's played him.
He's gonna do it again this year.
He's played him steady in the rotation his entire career. Like, we can not be happy about specifics of it, but I don't think he's lying when he says he values him. He clearly does. I don't think he's making that shit up.
Yeah. Like, I'm just mad because it kind of felt like they could have won this game even with Randle and Brunson shitting themselves, and it kind of feels like Tibbs didn't help them lose this game, but you also didn't help them win this game. And it kind of feels like
I agree with that.
There was an opportunity for you guys to win this, for the team to win this game.
A little chaotic neutral.
Like, yeah.
The thing, what I'm saying is
Definitely
that basically, like, I love Tibbs and I will defend him all the time.
Extend him.
Yeah, guys, should we extend him? Is it time to talk about that? Surprised they didn't talk about that on the broadcast. So, Knicks down here 4 with 7 seconds left. Do we think they should extend Tom Thibodeau?
And then Doc Rivers like, yes, I think he's a fantastic coach. He's really brought the ethos back to this team.
Oh my
This
gosh.
is pretty. I agree with this. It's only one
Yeah.
game, but I do hate that bench guys. This is from Christopher Vieira, by the way. But I do hate that bench guys like IQ only get first half stints or one first half stint. Wish Thomas would allow bench guys to play more than one stint and a half. Yeah, I mean this is a problem with the bench thing. This is one of the weird tips things. Like, and Jeff has talked about this. Like he's basically had meltdowns about this 7,000 times. But like
Rightfully so.
where he just tells us the numbers. He's like, because how Tibbs runs his rotations, a bench guy can never play more than 28 minutes a game. I'm like, okay, Jeff, I get it. Like, relax, buddy. But yeah, like, no, I mean, I agree. I think that's a fair frustration, but it's like, I guess where I just have a tough time. It's like, we know that Tibbs does this. Like, we know that. So in the scheme of like understanding what Tibbs is as a coach, I don't think this game is like this wasn't one of those ones where it's like, why the fuck is he going back to Alfred here? Like, why is he doing this thing that makes absolutely no sense? I didn't think anything he did tonight was like, this makes no sense. Like, it felt like he played a rotation that he felt like, I think this is going to be our rotation, right? Give or take a little bit here or there, but like, this is what he wants to do. And if you're really looking at it, you know, if you want to take that for what it is, like, you know, 34 minutes for Randle, 33 Brunson, 36 Barrett, 28 Quickley, 22 Hart, 26 Hartenstein because of Mitch's thing. We know it's center things or whatever. I've been saying this all off losing minutes from, you know, the people we're bringing back is Grimes. Grimes only played 23 minutes tonight. And like, I think Tibbs pretty firmly views Quickley in like a higher level of his, like, in Tibbs's weird pyramid of who he loves on the team. Like, Quick is like, I think he's close to the top. He's like in that top group now. He's burrowing his way into the top group. Grimes is still kind of like in the, you know, you're cool, but like, fuck you, I have Josh Hart here group. Like, he's not there yet. But yeah, I think Grimes is going to be the one that ends up losing minutes because it feels like he's where Quick was in some ways, right? Where it's like when he's shooting well, you're like, great. But as soon as he misses a couple, you're like, fucking RJ, get in here right now.
Yeah.
I did like the RJ heat check 3 in the last minute of the game. Not sure what that was about.
Every time he takes a step back, I start wincing because he looks so uncomfortable doing it. Like, what has Drew Hanley been teaching you for the last 5 years? Aside from how to balance
it looks very unnatural.
Yeah, because he's just not supposed to move like that, man. He's rickety and stiff, and it's like you have arthritis at 23 years old. What are you doing?
He needs to just learn how to like shoot with somebody in his face and not worry about creating separation. Like, he needs to do the Grimes thing where it's like, fuck it, I'll just shoot anyway. Really, I'm being dead ass. Like, I really think like he's never gonna have the kind of like.
But I feel like Grimes has a quick enough trigger for that. RJ's release isn't as quick or smooth to get it off like that, I think.
Maybe he just needs to work with Randle more.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
That's a good point. What's more miserable when Julius Randle plays like a brainless child or the current Bills offense?
I for one love Ken Dorsey.
Yeah, like honestly, it's not even close to Julius Randle. Like, it's because even with like whatever the Bills offense is now, at times it'll just be like, oh, cool, Josh Allen decided to throw like a 40-yard bomb. That's awesome. Like, when Julius Randle plays like an idiot, you're like, none of it is cool. You're just like,
yeah, you're miserable. You're like screaming at your TV.
I'm telling you, that drive he had in the fourth quarter where he totally didn't turn it over for Drew stripped him. I was just like, what the hell? Like, it was just so
there were so many drives in that first half too where it looked like 2019 where like he was like losing the ball and like catching it back and like twisting and turning in the air trying to find somebody to pass it to, and I was just like, oh, we're doing this again. Nice.
It was the funniest thing. I guess the funniest part of like what Doc was talking about in the fourth quarter was where he was like, look at the Knicks, they have their continuity. I'm like, have you watched this play? Like, like there's this passing shit is gonna stop in the next possession. There'd be no passing, bro. And you know this because you run the same fucking offense that Tibbs does. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, look at the ball movement. Shut the fuck up, man.
I feel like he was just trying to like, be positive about something.
He's like about
you know?
first broadcast. I'm at the Garden.
Yeah, he's like, let me not have Knicks fans turn on me real quick on the
Once a
timeline.
Nick, always a Nick. One of y'all. Tom was my boy. He won me a championship.
He was really like, you could tell he's like really happy to just not be coaching. He's just like chill.
Yeah, I mean,
this is the least stress I've heard of.
I mean, like, how would you think he would feel dealing with this James Harden situation right now?
Did you hear? He said something during the pregame where he's like, they were talking about, they highlight different players, right? So I think Doris did Kristaps, obviously, because she loves him. But then Doc was like, we can talk about Tatum. We'll talk about Jaylen Brown. And he was like, this guy he basically got me fired. I was like, damn.
Oh my God.
Damn, that's crazy.
Bro, Doc is what, like, post-retirement Doc might actually be kind of good to listen to.
Well, he's got all that, current knowledge on all the current players that he's had to coach against. So it's gonna be rich.
I need nobody to give him a coaching job. Like, I just need him to like embrace it because he was not too bad.
Yeah, I don't think he was that bad. I think
he's better than Mark Jackson.
Well,
he just doesn't have a catchphrase.
Mark Jackson very soon, so
he doesn't have a catchphrase yet. But I think he'll figure one out.
Oh, look, there goes that man.
I am about to go into FanDuel and place a very significant amount on Emanuel Quickley, 6 Man of the Year.
Sam placing a bet, people. Whoa.
Whoa. Crazy. Who would have seen that coming?
All right, so I think this is a good segue into some positives of tonight. One, Emanuel Quickley, which I had stated in one of the preseason post games that I was hoping that he would be able to start the season off not in a slow manner, because the last couple of years he started the year just really slow. Him and RJ, they started the year very slow. So him getting off to this start in this game was a very, very, very encouraging sign, and hopefully he can continue this momentum. I have confidence that he will, because just like the way he looked compared to the way he looked in previous season openers and like early season games from years past, like he didn't look as confident as he did tonight. The shot didn't look as good as it did tonight. And yeah, he just he wants to get paid, and he's coming for revenge for that 6 Man of the Year, and no better team to do it against than his favorite team he likes screwing over than the Boston Celtics, who their little white knight Peyton Pritchard did not perform as well as they probably hoped he would.
Well, yeah, but he made the free throws and they counted, so he got the W.
For reference sake, Quickley's first 3 season openers: 5 points, 0 points, 3 points. So he had 24 tonight. He's incredible, man. That's the best. That's the most complete backup guard in the NBA. That Peyton Pritchard, of the fuck they were saying on that damn article.
His defense is again really good tonight.
Like, it's just Quickley. Like, he's really good at both sides of the ball. He's one of the best 2-way guards in the league. I don't care about that Drew Holiday shit. Like, people were legitimately like, "Oh yeah, like trade Quickley for Drew Holiday, bro." Like that's what Drew Holiday wishes he could do. He wishes he could move like that. I never seen Drew Holiday saw somebody up.
Drew Holiday's losing that off his legs and the turnover.
I wonder if any random fan of another team has ever watched this and they're like, why do these Knicks fans shit on Drew Holiday so much? What has this guy ever done to the Knicks?
You would think Drew Holiday has dropped consistent 30 bombs on us for us to hate him so much.
Money.
Yeah.
He just sucks so much that we can't stand him. It's why is he? And bro, the gas that he was getting this offseason from every media outlet since he got sent to the Boston has been ridiculous.
They've been treating him like he's Gary Payton in his prime.
They over here Team USA is they're scouting for him. They want him so
court
bad.
Press for Team USA. Come on, let's be better.
Yeah,
oh my gosh.
Peyton Pritchard got one of the sympathy invites, right, to Team USA camp.
I think so.
The white privilege invite.
That's the one I'm talking about. Correct. We did get a question from somebody. I can't even find it right now. Oh yeah, this is from Christopher Vieira. I think this is worth talking about. We'll talk about quickly too. But how do y'all feel we did at the 4 in the non-Randle minutes? I think Hart did pretty well. Yeah, I agree with that. I think Hart actually did awesome, and I would have closed with Hart over Randle. That's what I would have done.
And I think it helps that the Celtics also just like don't really have a competent backups. I mean, who they play at backups tonight? They had Horford that came in, Sam Hauser, Luke Cornett, who else? Peyton Pritchard. Like their backups really are like this was a perfect team to like get us started with.
I think Pritchard, like I know he didn't play well tonight. I actually think he looks like a solid regular season player anyway. He'll have better nights. He'll shoot, but like
that's it.
He's basically like a modern day Novak, so all you got to do is run that guy off the line.
Whoa.
If you run him off the line, he can't do anything.
I get they had like put gel in their hair and they're both white, but like calling Sam Hauser Steve Novak is offensive.
It's fine. Yeah, it's fine. I know that there's only one good
to watch. Sam Hauser is white Yuta Watanabe, and I need you to like
okay, so chill. Basically exactly what Sam Hauser is. Correct. So
chill anyway, Novak, bro.
Like their bench is what it is. I think they'll probably try. I mean, they still have picks and stuff, so I think they'll probably make another move to shore up the bench a little bit. But yeah, like the bench is not good. And like if he's gonna have to play Porzingis 38 minutes against any team that's good, like I don't know, man. That's just a very big concern I would have. But
that's a recipe for lower body extremities.
Yes. But yeah, I thought Hart. Honestly, I didn't really like his decision making at all today offensively. Thought it was really bad. But I thought his defense was solid, and more importantly, I thought he held up. Which I think the main question here is like, how did he hold up on the glass? Right? Really, that's what we're talking about. And I thought he was fine. I mean, he grabbed a really big rebound over Horford in the second half. Like they even commented it on the broadcast. It was really good. I thought he was fine.
Took 4 threes.
Yeah,
I'll take that, MJ.
Yeah, just don't hesitate on the ones that you need to take. And then I thought RJ was okay at the 4. Like the rebounding with him at the 4 is always just going to be like, can you get a contested board for me, please? Like, is that possible?
Can you try?
Yeah, can you like that one at the end of the third quarter was really frustrating. It's like, dude, you're right there. Just grab the ball. Like, I don't know what to say. But yeah, I'm not too worried about it. Also, this is like a pretty good matchup for that group. So probably bears more kind of monitoring. But look, we're going to play Atlanta after this. They're not exactly playing giants at the 4. Jalen Johnson is their backup 4 right now. So, yeah, I'm not too worried about that. To go back to Quickley, I thought his scoring was just like he started the game really good. The biggest thing for me was there was none of the stupid pump fakes to take a sidestep or stupid pump fakes to drive and go nowhere. He took the open threes and they were there. He took contested threes when that's a fine 3 to take. Like he took the ones where they got caught in a screen. He took the ones where the closeout wasn't going to get to him. I thought those were good shots. And
confident and indecisive.
Yeah, I would say still like some of his decision making when he got into the paint, especially in the second half, was a little like, where are you going here?
The whole team was on drugs getting into the paint.
Yeah. So I would be like, I mean, that's okay. Again, first game of the season, feel some stuff out. And it does feel like he's still trying to figure out where Dante is. Like how do I play off of this guy? I think they're still figuring some stuff out with those two. I'm not too worried about it. Their skill sets make sense together. And Dante will make open threes. Like I'm not worried that he didn't make them tonight.
Will he make open layups though?
No,
that is the question.
No,
that will haunt us the whole year.
You get over the fact that like Dante DiVincenzo is going to lay Frank Ntilikina inside the 3-point arc, and like we just need to embrace that.
Dante DiVincenzo has a Schwinny poop layup package. All right,
wherever he makes a layup, I'm just gonna like give an ovation because
that's a round of applause.
That's what we call the Schwinny poop layup package. Like he's like when we signed him, I was like, I remember just being like, man, I'm really excited, like because he can shoot threes. This is great, and all these Warriors fans like, yeah, this is a good signing, but like, man, when that guy gets around the rim, I'm not sure what's going on there. It's like 0 brain cells.
It's just wild. Like, how the hell did he make like 53% of his twos last year?
The funniest thing is he's actually athletic too, which makes it even funnier that he's such a bad finisher. I'm like,
bro, he'll be going for like these up and under finesse layups, and it'd be like straight glass. It's like, okay,
no, like he'd be throwing it up and be going to the other side of the rim. Like, what are we doing?
But yeah, I thought Quickley played a really good game. His defense was good. Again, he was into the game like as soon as he was in it. Like he brought intensity. I think the Knicks needed the energy he brought when he got in, especially in the first half. He hit big shots. Like he hit big shots in the fourth quarter throughout it. And yeah, I mean, I don't think there's like much to say. Like he's a good player. And I guess the one thing I will say, the best thing about this is like, I'm really happy he played well in the first game because I'm so sick and tired of every time you talk about like he's a good player. He's in, yeah, well, he didn't show up in the playoffs, and it's like, dude, what are we doing? Are we like, can we stop acting like we're like a perennial fucking like we're not the Celtics, dude. We haven't been to the playoffs every year for the last fucking 57 years and gone to the conference finals out of for 54 of them. Like, can we stop just acting like we're
people
above?
act like half our playoff team didn't play bad in the playoffs last year. Like, where's this high bar that like for our players that we're all supposed to play well?
Yeah, and I'll say this, like, I do think that when it comes to like, well, what is he worth? What, and forget what he's worth. Like, what's he gonna get paid, right? Like, why didn't the Knicks extend him? I do think that is where the playoff stuff matters because it's like, look, man, if I'm gonna pay you $27 million, where the fuck you want it, let's just say it's that Devin Vassell, Jay McDaniels contract. I know those guys haven't done shit in the playoffs either, but they're wings. And I'm sorry, guess what? Wings get paid more. It's just how the league is. If I'm gonna pay you that, and I've seen you play shitty in the playoffs, offensively anyway, that's got to be a concern, and that weighs in there. And like, I get that part of it, but if he plays like this, which I don't think there's a reason to suspect he won't, and then he brings that into the playoffs, then I think there's something to like. Then the Knicks are probably going to lose the bet they made. Where like, or in some ways, I guess they made a bet. We don't know exactly the specifics of what happened in this negotiation, but like, he will get paid very close to what he wants then, if not getting exactly what he wants, because the guy you saw today, he brings that into a playoff setting. Like, you pay guys like that, you pay guards like that, because guess what? Like, guards like that, they can be on the floor even with other guards. Like, again, we saw once again Tom Thibodeau closing a game with Emanuel Quickley and Jalen Brunson. Like, he clearly likes that lineup. I think it's weird that people have decided he doesn't like it because he was weird about it in the playoffs instead of just being like, maybe that was a weird Tibbs thing, which like, I think we can chalk up a lot of stuff to just weird Tibbs things. Yeah, I thought, yeah, I thought, I thought Quickley played a good game and I was excited about that. I thought, I want to say before we get into RJ, I thought Hartenstein was like a fucking warrior tonight. That guy just was out there, like hustling everywhere, running around, just being fucking crazy.
He reminded us he's half black. Like, that was some real, that was some RNS if I've ever seen it. That hard foul on Jaylen Brown got me up. I was applauding. I was like, yeah, this is what your daddy would be doing if he was in the league. Like, he was cooking. I love Hartenstein, man. He just has like a nasty to him that I don't like. Aside from like Josh Hart, I don't think anybody else in this team really has.
I don't even think it's weird though, because it's not like, I don't even think it's nasty. I think he's just playing hard. Like, he's just like that Jaylen Brown incident. I was like, I don't even know what Hartenstein did there. Like, he
didn't do anything malicious. He just fouled him hard, and that was it.
Grabbed him. He just grabbed him. He actually like didn't foul him.
He made sure to like not hurt him.
No, I'm not saying nasty in terms of like he's like a bad player, but I think it's just like that moxie that like he does have like an attitude about him.
Yeah,
classic term of New York grit.
He plays hard, and like I just thought he played really well tonight. I thought he stepped up, with Mitch in foul trouble. I just thought he stepped up. He probably played what, like the last fucking like 18 minutes or something. I mean, he played a shit ton of minutes in this game. or in the second half, I should say. He played 26 minutes in the game, but I would imagine majority of that was second half. He was just everywhere. I thought he was, again, his energy and effort. I don't know what the hell the numbers aren't going to show it, obviously, but like I thought his screens in the second half were huge in terms of like freeing guys up for shots. He played really well, and I just wanted to shout him out because we know centers don't get love. But RJ had a good game, I guess. Like I don't know, it was a weird game for him. It was like the 3-point shooting was good when he took the threes that you want him to take. Like I think two of the threes he missed were step backs of some kind. One of them might have been just like a really tough three he had to do as a bailout, but there's evidence obviously that the 3-point shot, if he takes the right ones, are good. Free throw shooting continues to be nice with him, 6-7 from the free throw line. He went 8 of 20 from the field again. Like this is one of those games where you're like, okay, you could have probably scored the same and gone 8 of 16 if you just make better decisions when you go to the rim. And like kick it out when you don't have something. That was frustrating. The one in transition where he was like, I'm gonna dunk on Porzingis, and I was like, as soon as he started that shit, I was like, oh my god.
He read a couple of Knicks fans' tweets from a couple years ago and decided to internalize it.
Yeah, it was just like I was like, but it's first game of the season. We'll see. Like, but again, these 8 of 20 lines, they can be 8 of 16 for 24 points. You're not losing anything. He's just got to make better decisions, and maybe you get a couple more assists. Like, look, he took 20 shots, he had 2 assists. You would like that to be a little higher of a ratio. And I'm not saying the raw assist numbers are everything. I'm sure that he passed 3 times, guys missed shots, or Julius Randle pump faked, or Jalen Brunson, whatever it is. Like I'm sure that happened, but again, how many times did he get blocked by Porzingis in game 3?
Might be 3.
Yeah, like it's one of those things where it's like I'm not one of those where like ones where you're like, oh well, that's tough shit. It just happens. Like it was that dunk, and it was like these two. He shot one standstill floater, like right in front of him, and I'm like, what? He's gonna eat that shit, bro. He's 7'3". Like what the fuck? He's like probably dying for fucking food over there. Like he's gonna eat that shit. And he blocked another one in the first half like that too. It just make better decisions. And again, like I've been saying this for fucking 2 years now. Like if he makes better decisions when to take shots, when to kick out, like he's going to be more efficient. But it's all on him. Like how much better do you feel about this line if it's 8 of 16 for 24 points, 6 of 7 from the line, 2 of 5 from 3? Like it's those margins that really like kill his efficiency, and that's what you're hoping in year 5 is what goes away as the season goes on.
And it's funny enough because like I forgot which preseason game was it. Was it the first one where like he came out, he was really nice on the drives, he was passing out of the drives and stuff like that. He looked really decisive on the drives. I think it was the first preseason game or the second one, but it was one of the preseason games, and he came out really nice on the drives. And it's funny how like preseason ends and a lot of that stuff just like disappears. I wonder what shifts in these players' minds from preseason to regular season game in a matter of like a week or so, where like things they were doing so well in a preseason game, it just changes. Like their mindset is just totally different. So
yeah, I'm not talking about RJ Barrett until December 1st.
Liar.
Yeah, that's such a lie.
That's such a lie.
Didn't you make up some rule like this last year too?
We're sticking by it this year.
I did a rule like this last year too, where I was like, I'm not going to talk about Julius Randle until like.
I had a rule I wasn't going to say his name.
Yeah, I'm not gonna talk about Julius until 20
That
games.
was just coded racism.
And then like
coded racism. Okay.
10 games in, I was like, fucking Julius, get this guy out of here.
I'm not talking about RJ Barrett until December 1st.
Yeah, this is worth bringing up. Jordan Bub, can we not say that those officials caused the Knicks to see them points on multiple occasions? Brunson flop IQ BS call, yes. BS double tech, yeah. I mean, those were all fair. I just like look, they sucked. But
let's get on our Doris Burke right now. Start crying.
Yeah, no, the Knicks just they miss so many free throws that it's like hard to really like Like what Brunson probably would have fucking.
What is Jalen Brunson supposed to do there?
What is
He's supposed to levitate. He's supposed to levitate. He's supposed to respect the fact that Jason Tatum
Shout out Dua
was
Lipa.
he was supposed to move his feet in midair out of the way because how dare you step on Jason Tatum's foot?
Yeah, and I mean that was 9. I think it was what was that 88, 86, I think.
Yeah.
So, that's they go down, they get a bucket, or I think Tatum got fouled, whatever it was, they get 2 points. And instead it's like, it should have been 3 for Brunson, maybe even if he hits 2, right? Because tonight apparently nobody could hit all their free throws. Even if he hits 2, it's fucking 4-point swing. And I don't know if they can also review that. If they call that foul, which it should have been called, they would review that. They could give him fucking flagrant. Even it's that bullshit call, but like they could get a flagrant out of it too, right? So maybe you get 2 free throws in possession. Who the hell knows what happens? Like it's a big swing for sure. But I think you just I hate to do it, but it's like on a night like this, like the Knicks, yeah, those things went against them, but they still should have won this game.
Shot themselves in the foot.
If they make free throws and if Brunson and Randle don't play like fucking diarrhea is dripping down their legs, like they're winning this game. So I don't know. I hear all that. I don't disagree, but I have a hard time getting too worked up about it for that reason.
Yeah. And it just brings me back to last year where we lost so many games on the free throw line. It's just like I'm hoping that it's not something that is our bane again, but it seems like it's going to be.
It's going to be. Like they brought back 8 out of 9 of the rotation. Like it's going to be.
I don't know, man. Apparently RJ is a sniper now from the free throw line, so I don't think Brunson's a bad free throw shooter anymore. I am a little worried about Randle. He didn't shoot free throws well in the preseason either.
It's the shoes. It's the Skechers shoes just look awkward on him. They're like probably one of them, but just like a little lower, and it's fucking up his equilibrium, and he can't make free throws anymore.
I think it's the haircut more than the shoes.
That too.
The haircut is just bad vibes. It brings back so much 2019 memories. Like
I think if he's gonna do it, he's just gotta go bald, do the Derek White thing.
Oh my god!
Derek White got bullied into doing that, and he still looks bad.
He lose a bet or something.
He looks like
no. I think people were just cracking so many jokes about him having such a fucked up hairline that he decided to just go bald. But
he just looks like
he's someone that.
Harvey.
He's someone that with hair and without hair, he just has to make up his mind and just
he's just ugly.
Yeah, he's just ugly.
Bro, sometimes you just
bite the bullet.
Bro, you look like Mr. Clean. Just sometimes you just gotta be chopped. It happens, bro.
Maybe, yeah, I think he saw Tyrese's tweets about his hair.
It was more than just Tyrese's tweets. It was everybody in America.
It was Boston. It was Boston fans themselves.
That's different. That's just racism. Racism. That's what that is. It has nothing to do with hair.
What is this last game?
But it's funny because in San Antonio, he was just rocking it fine. It's once you get to a media market like Boston, it just explodes, and he just had to bite the bullet. He decided to go bald. I don't know.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah.
Okay, so our next game is Friday versus the Hawks.
Mm-hmm.
You got a date?
No, I don't. That's interesting. Oh my god.
Interesting that I agree. It is interesting you don't have a date.
Oh my
That's
god.
Crazy.
Am I supposed to now? Carolina analysis.
This from Aldi Joe. Hairline analysis slaps from Chris Bernhard. I DM'd Sam that it was a bad sign. He's rocking 45-year-old dad kicks with a 2019 haircut for that garbage can.
Bro, that bag must have been incredible.
Yeah, we have to know the details on the Skechers deal.
He got Jimmy. He's going Jimmy Fallon tonight, showing off Skechers, bro. That bag had to be at least 9 figures.
I know this is a post-game show, but do you guys think, if Quickley, let's just say plays let's say he plays like this, he plays whatever, he played like he did the last, 6 months of the season from December to April. I don't even think they can trade him then. He's too valuable if he plays like that. And then they're just gonna be like, "Fuck, we gotta fucking pay him now."
Bro,
Like,
it's
what the
gonna
fuck
be
are we gonna
again, you're gonna send him to San Antonio to have him play with Wemby? Like, no. Like,
like? You're just not. I really like this was my entire thinking about it, is like I get all the reasons to not do it,
But
and
like you have to do
without
it.
without knowing the numbers. This is the problem. We don't know the numbers, right? We don't know exactly we don't know what Quickly asked for. More importantly, we don't know what Quickly would have been like.
Whatever Quickly asks for, you give him to.
Okay, right.
should have
so,
paid.
yeah,
I don't
I want
care.
the designated super max. Right.
You could have gave him the sphere. I would have been like, that's cool.
Shit.
It's not my
Quickly
money.
playing like this. Yeah, it's not my money. It's
I
James
like when
Dolan
black men
bread.
get paid. I don't know
But
what you
like,
want me to say.
I don't know what he wanted. I don't. It was like I would have paid him 400. I really would have. I'd have been like, fine, fuck it. Like if it was, if he wanted the 135 or whatever, I kind of get the hesitancy.
4108.
It just, to me, it's just like I don't know. I think if he plays like this, you're not gonna trade him because you can't. Like he's too valuable in his role if he plays like this. You're not gonna find somebody who can play backup point but can also play with your point guard and do all this shit defense. Like you're not gonna get that. And so I don't know, unless you're packaging him for like some superstar we don't know is on the market right now, which I don't think is gonna happen. Like I don't see the Joel Embiid thing at all. I think that's horseshit.
He's not a superstar.
Oh my god, imagine they traded him for James Harden.
No, why would I imagine that? It's gross, man. Like the cat thing, I was like, oh, what if they did like Quickly and Randle
Quickly, RJ and Pfeiffer.
for a cat? Like, what are we doing?
That's how
Like,
you get. That's how you get a mass parade off the George Washington Bridge.
But yeah, I don't know.
I'm gotta do it, bro.
I just the more he plays like this, I think the more I just don't see how you can trade him. I really don't, and I don't even know how I can't re-sign him. Like it just, I would have just bitten the bullet and paid him this summer. But again, I don't know the specifics of what they did and didn't offer, and I don't know what the specifics of what he wanted and didn't want. So who can say? But if he plays like this, that payday might be nice for him.
You could just give him all of Randall's contract. It's cool.
Hey,
I want to.
hey,
I didn't need to see this to do that.
could have signed me up for that since the moment Randall signed that contract.
He could have signed me up for that the moment fucking Emanuel Quickley played for the Knicks. And like, oh yeah, let's give this guy money.
From the first floater, you're like, you know what? Yeah, 100 million right there.
I like this kid. Yeah, no, I mean, I don't know. I'm curious, like, because I just don't see what. They're just not guys that can do what he does. They're just not like the guys. How many guards do this shit? Like, there's just not that many guards.
Not paying Pritchard. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, not Peyton Pritchard, not Malcolm Brogdon, not. I mean, but for real, like the guys you really compare him to, right? They'd be like, oh, are plus defenders and can play with other guards and run point, but play off ball. Like the best versions of those are guys that help you win at a high level. Like, right? It's a Kyle Lowry. Okay, yeah, that guy fucking won a championship. Like
Drew Holiday.
yeah,
Won a championship.
shitting.
They
himself.
usually win championships.
He won a championship while shitting himself, which is amazing.
Exactly. All
Quite
Drew Holiday did
remarkable.
was throw the lob to Giannis in that game.
I mean, if you really think about it, we've already seen enough from Quickley in the playoffs that he could win a championship with Giannis.
You put him next to Jokic, they would have won in 5 instead of 6. Like, come on.
But like, I don't know. Murray is probably like the other version of this, where he's like, obviously he's a great offensive player, but not like a great defensive player.
Yeah.
But he's better as a scorer than Quickley. He's a more complete scorer, but like he's not as good defensively. But like guys like that just have the size and the ability to play both on and off ball. I don't know. They're really rare, and I think the more you have, it's hard to keep up that. Like I'm comfortable if those were the only 2 guards we had, was Brunson and Quickley. I'd be like, that's fine. Fine.
Schwinn, thoughts on Al Horford tonight?
Balco.
Every single time he made 2 shots, right? He made 2 shots.
2
They were
threes.
both 2
That were
threes.
both. One of them was on Julius. It was exactly what I'm talking about with Julius, by the way, where he did the fucking. They put him into the action, and then Al Horford went to the corner, and Julius was like, "I'm not doing that. Nope, not going to make that rotation." And he joined the thing. I was like, I literally hate you so much.
I literally hate you.
I hated everything about that play. I hated Julius on that play, and I hate that it was Al Horford that hit that three.
I feel like Prez was at home cheering, by the way.
Yeah, Prez was definitely. No, he was probably watching like Laurie Markkinen, like feeling really proud of his culture for some reason.
By the way, they're down. They got blown out. Shout out to Laurie Markkinen.
Shout out to the first actual day of NBA basketball being mainly blowouts, by the way.
Because nobody's
We're
awake.
back.
Who said this? I want to know who said this. Someone said IQ and 2 for Harden.
Who said that?
It's probably that person on Twitter who likes every tweet or every potential trade for a superstar. Sure, we all know who I'm talking about. Okay, moving on. This is kind of this is for you guys. Is it really a bad thing for the Knicks if IQ plays in a higher deal that shows he's better, proven them and himself right, and now he's in the starting lineup? Dub for everyone. This from Chris.
If he's in the starting lineup, we're having uncomfortable conversations about a Canadian.
I think like I don't like viewing it as a binary because that's kind of like what Quickley's appeal is, right? Is that he can.
But
work in all these
that
different
is
levels.
what being
Yeah.
on a Thibs team forces you into that way of thinking, unfortunately.
I think it's the contracts. I don't think it's about even Tibbs. I think it's about the contracts. Like,
It's contracts.
yeah, like because what I bet happened is whatever you're negotiating, that the cell number comes in, and quickly is like, well, the fuck, what's this guy done? Then the Jaden McDaniels number comes in. He's like, wait, what the fuck? And then he probably looks back and like, RJ got the number, right? He got 4108 or 4107, which is basically what those guys got with one less year, right? It's basically the same thing those guys got with one less year. And he's like, I've proven as much as any of these guys at the very minimum. At the bare minimum, I've done as much as these guys. I deserve as much money. And I don't think that's wrong. Like, I don't think that's a wrong stance for him to take. I also get the Knicks viewpoint where they're like, yeah, but you sucked in the playoffs. And you are never going to be our starting point guard. So why don't you take this really, really, really good contract for like that basically says you're a quality starter, right? That's what like a $490 million contract is. It means you're a quality starter. And I think he was like, well, yeah, no, let's just play it out then. Because and I think he's right. Like that money, he's gonna get if that's the floor, he's going to get that contract. 480, 490. Unless he completely pulls like a Jordan Poole season from last year, he's gonna get that contract.
Even if he pulled a Jordan Poole season last year, he's still probably getting that contract. Like Jordan Poole was like 58 true shooting, dude. It wasn't a bad season offensively.
Yeah, Draymond just hated his guts.
Yeah.
And then Steph started to hate his guts. And then Clay started to hate his guts.
Yeah. And
then Steve Kerr was like, we need leadership. Let's get Chris Paul for leadership.
But yeah, I don't know. I think the Quickley thing is it'll solve itself in some ways. Like if he just plays really well, I don't know how you can be like, well, we can do it without him or we don't really need him. It's like, no, you kind of fucking need him, man. Kind of do.
Also, yeah, the Hart contract as well. Like Hart essentially got 5 for 90. Like
94, yeah.
Yeah, 5 for 94. So it's like he's looking at a deal and he's like, I need to at least make more than Hart.
Yeah.
That's what happens with you.
The Hart thing is actually 4 for 71 though. Because last year's a team option.
Right, but it's also like that's how money works. You're not looking at like, whoa, this is not guaranteed. Like that's ultimately
no, that is how it works. Of course, Quickley's agent's gonna be like, well, you got 594, and the Knicks are gonna be like, well, actually, it's 471, and we're gonna offer you 480. So we clearly think you're better. Like we're offering you more money. That's how it works. They're not gonna be like, oh, well, actually, you're right.
Not to mention, like you look at like Poole got the contract. Poole got what 4 for 140. Like I'm not talking about guarantee. I'm just talking about total money with incentives. Like 4 for 140 for Poole.
I think even his guaranteed money was like a 128 or something, right?
Yeah, and then like Hero got like 4 for 120.
I think that's like 110 guaranteed, something like that.
Yeah, so it's like you're looking at a market where it's like high end 6 men are getting like RJ Barrett money minimum.
Well, and this is why the negotiation is tough, right? Because then they can just be like, well, okay, but look at these contracts now. Nobody actually thinks they're good contracts. Nobody thinks that Hero contract is good. They might think it's neutral. They don't think it's good. Nobody thinks the Poole contract was literally underwater. They had to pay to get off the deal.
Yep, and then
I mean, like, if we're gonna have the real conversation, like, if the Knicks traded RJ Barrett right now, what do you think they get for him? Completely honest, like, I'm not. This has nothing to do with what I
dual
think.
citizenship.
I think they could get like an expired. I think that if they wanted to get off, if they wanted to get off his contract, literally just straight up, just like we want to dump the money. If they just wanted to dump the money, they could probably dump the money.
Some Reese's Pieces.
Basically, but I don't think they would get anything for him. Like, I don't think they get like a real asset. Maybe they get like seconds.
Bogdanovich and Alec Burks.
Yeah, like I don't think they'd get a lot for him. So that's probably the way the Knicks were looking at it too. Where it's like, yeah, your impact and all that shit is better, but we've seen like Jordan Poole's impact before the season was actually really good, right? Like before last season, like he was like a plus guy the year before. He was awesome for them before he got paid. I mean, forget the playoffs, but like he was really good for them that year. Hero is obviously he was 6th man of the year. Say whatever you want about that, but like not some bullshit player. Like and after they sign that contract, immediately how they get viewed changes. And so I think like teams are sensitive to that stuff, and maybe the Knicks more so than some other teams, right? Like where you're still not just calculating out like what his contract is, but with all this new shit in the CBA with like the new aprons, right? Second apron and all that stuff, you're like, okay, well, once you hit that second apron, now all of a sudden you can't aggregate salaries. So like if you want to go get Joel Embiid, you can't combine salaries anymore if that puts you in the second apron. I'm not saying it would have, it wouldn't have, but even if you get into the first apron, it makes all this stuff so much harder. And so I think they're trying to balance a lot of this shit. And so like I don't know, obviously, how it would work. I don't know what would be going through their minds. It just would not surprise me at all if the kind of cumulative impact of what it would do to the team cap was a bigger factor in kind of where they drew the line versus what they think he's worth. You know, I think there's some of that at play too. So we'll see. I mean, hopefully, again, if he plays like this, I don't think they really have a choice. And if he plays like this, I think Thibodeau might have like a fucking aneurysm if they were just like, well, we couldn't pay him, so we got.
They might have a stroke and die.
Yeah. He might choke out Leon Rose.
Yeah. but we did get 2 first, so
Tibbs would lose his mind at the prospect of just having picks.
There'd be a Knicks fan on Twitter who'd be really happy about it, especially if you traded for Kyle.
There'd be several. Oh my gosh. There'd be several Knicks fans that are happy about it.
Before Poole got concussed by Draymond.
That's probably why he stunk so bad last year.
This is from Nafi Malahuda. Do you think there are teams who would give Quick not only the bag, but also be the starting point guard?
Yes.
Plus
Utah, San Antonio,
yeah.
The Magic if they got serious.
We just paid Cole Anthony, so I don't know if they're that serious.
They're not.
They paid him to be
I know it was only $339, but still.
Cole Anthony is the type of guard that, like,
they started Jalen Suggs tonight, so
if the Knicks did use Quickley in a package to like go get a star or something, Cole Anthony is the type of guy you'd be like, all right, let's see what we would have to give up to get him to be our backup point guard.
I mean, I'd take Rokas over Cole Anthony right now. Like, stop it.
Schwinn wants to make me cry, man. Cole Anthony.
I think Cole Anthony's fine. I think he's fine. I think he's actually developed pretty.
Cole Anthony has tentacles on his head. I don't want Cole Anthony anywhere near this franchise.
That's like literally racist right there. That's hair racism.
Oh, am I wrong?
Yes, he has nice hair, beautiful hair.
Right.
But like, no, that's they paid him to be trade bait, right? It's like,
yeah.
who did that? Somebody did it with Grayson Allen. The Grizzlies did it with Grayson Allen, right? That they paid him.
They paid him and then they traded him.
Yeah, and they did that with Melton also. Like, this is what you do with these guys. So, yeah, I think Utah is the one. Utah and San Antonio make me a little nervous. More so Utah than San Antonio because, like, Danny Ainge literally offered Paul Reed a troll offer sheet this summer. Like, that was a thing that happened.
Danny Ainge, he's very unserious.
He literally offered a troll offer sheet. So he's the one guy out there that I'm just like, but I mean, look, you're the draft guy, Terry. So Prez keeps saying this is a point guard draft.
I don't give a shit.
I'm asking you because these are the teams you're talking about. Fucking San Antonio.
It's a point guard draft, but also like I think Emanuel Quickley hits the market. He's the best restricted free agent. Like he's probably a top 3 free agent if he hits the market. Like aside from Pascal, like I don't.
Ooh, Knicks gonna have to match. Oof.
And there's money out there this offseason, bro. Like there's money, so I think you got to pay him. I would have just paid him just to get it over with, but like.
Not everyone's as
The
smart
problem
as
is
us.
like Brunson and Randle being such good contracts, like artificially deflates whatever value Quickley's gonna get because you can't pay him more, and he's never gonna take 5 years because like why would Quickley want 5 years guaranteed? He wants to hit the market as soon as possible, and the Knicks
True.
won't give him a player option. So like. I can't see the world where the Knicks gave him a player option and then it didn't give RJ a player option.
I mean, I'd give him a player option if he was like, yeah, I'll do like $590. Been like, great, dude, you can have fucking 15 player options if you want.
You have a player option after year 3 if you do like $590, but like, so yeah, just kind of came
hometown discount.
Like the Knicks had a cutoff point, and Quickley's like, well, if that's your cutoff point, I know I'm going to be able to play myself into this. So like, why would I sign for that number?
Oh my gosh, Quickley's doing the Dirk pay cuts. Wow, so nice of him.
Bro, if he did a Dirk pay cut, I would have legitimately wanted a statue of him in front of Madison Square Garden.
Sam is playing with tape right now, by the way. It's actually a thing that's happening.
Trying to get it off the roll.
Should have fixed his parlays right now.
Oh my god.
Trying to tape them together.
Oh my goodness.
What you had, Derek Lively rebounds?
Hell no. I barely touched this game.
Barely being the keyword there.
Barely because I knew Vector would do some stupid shit like get in trouble with 4 fouls in the third quarter.
Yeah, I don't know. The Quickley stuff is just it's annoying. It's tough. Well, the good thing is seeing that he did not he just came out and played well, and that's probably the biggest thing about this is like you want to see how he reacts. And, it's just one game, but, like, it's better for him to get off to a good start instead of a bad start. Could you imagine if he had a bad game tonight?
Oh, my God. Twitter would be insane.
And Twitter, the media.
The media would be insane. The discourse. What I mean by Twitter is, I mean, like, the beat reporters. They'd be all over it. They're so annoying.
They were already asking Tibbs. Yes, they were asking Tibbs. They asked Brunson, and they asked Julius about that Embiid rumor. It's like it was literally one rumor out of Philly. Really? You gonna ask these guys like this is what you guys fucking access for?
This is what they need access for this guy.
Yeah, they cry all the time about access so they could act stupid stuff.
Leon Rose hasn't interviewed the media independently in 25 months, and
so they could ask Leon Rose. Leon Rose, why would you want to include Evan Fournier and Mitchell Robinson in the deal? Like he's gonna tell you why. Like,
would you trade Julius Randle and RJ Barrett for Joel Embiid? Those are hard-hitting questions we need to know, bro.
Yeah. Christopher Vieira asks, do y'all think the Bucks are our worst matchup in the East? Today confirmed what we knew last year, that I think we match up well with Boston.
I'm fine in the East.
No, right.
Okay. Jala, fucking Tyrese London over here.
All right, bro. Why are we government naming? That's crazy.
But yeah, I don't know. I still think though Boston's weird. It's their first real game together. I tend to believe that they are like just have fundamental issues that help us out against them, ball handling, passing, that stuff. But yeah, I don't think like they don't match up with us poorly. It's probably the best way to put it. I still think they beat us, but I'm not like scared of playing them. Milwaukee to me is just definitely a bad matchup.
Yeah, that Giannis Dame pick and roll is going to be devastating.
I mean, you're quickly locking that up.
What pod was this? Anybody know? Berman is talking crazy on a pod the day after the extension deadline, saying IQ is a selfish player that is best at the 6-man. Keep those receipts.
Berman is also in Florida. Like, don't trust anything he's saying right now because is.
If you find the podcast, let me know. I'm gonna keep that receipt.
Oh man, Berman just needs to enjoy retirement and stop like trolling.
He can't. Oh, he was on with Alex. Okay, great. Lockdown Knicks. Fucking enemy of the state, Alex Wolf.
Can't stand
that motherfucker.
Cannot stand that guy.
Yeah, he doesn't know. Don't tell him. Yeah, I don't know. This game was stupid. Like, it was a dumb opening game, and we only played dumb opening games against the Celtics. So cool.
I'm just glad it didn't go to overtime. If it went to overtime, I would have been kind of heated.
It basically may as well have, considering when it ended.
True.
It should end at like 9:55 or some shit. Like, Jesus. Basically a football game. Yeah, I was encouraged actually by a lot of stuff I saw today. You got to figure that they're not going to shoot like absolute fucking ass crack for most of the season, and no, Brunson and Randle, they're going to shoot terribly the whole season.
I mean, no, but like there's going to be a lot of 31% from 3 nights.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. I mean, that was a lot of that last year.
A good old 31% from 3 night with like 61% from the line.
But like surprisingly, we'd win those type of games too. So it's like, we
can play in the trenches. That's not a problem. It's just going to be real ugly when we do.
And I think that's why a lot of people some people they expect some sort of regression from us because they think we won't be able to win those type of games. But like, I feel like that's something that just like doesn't die out in certain players or a certain type of team. Like, it just seems like that's this team's identity. So
I mean, offensive rebounding is like a pretty consistent trait. You're just not a good offensive rebounding team. You're probably going to stay a good offensive rebounding team. Big thing was is being a good defensive rebounding team. Obviously, like, I mean, I don't think any of us were under the impression that losing Obi and putting in DiVincenzo was going to make us a worse defensive rebounding team in any way, and it did not tonight anyway. So that was good to see. I think like the stuff that didn't go well tonight, free throw shooting, we're not going to be a good free throw shooting team. We're probably going to be better than 14 and 26 because if we went 14 and 26 from the line every single night, we would set the record for the worst free throw shooting team ever in a season by a team. So I'm pretty sure that will improve. I'm pretty sure that Jalen Brunson will shoot better, and I'm pretty sure Julius Randle will, unless we're having a 2022 Julius Randle season, which I hope we're not. So yeah, I mean, those 3 pieces, like, you would bet go in our favor. So even if, Quickley is not going to go 5 of 7 from 3 or whatever it is, I still think the bench production overall or the 3 to 9 production overall is pretty average. Like, it wasn't some crazy outlandish stuff. So I feel pretty good about what I saw from the Knicks tonight. I think after what we saw in the preseason for them defensively, at least, Jesus, like, this was, I needed to see that. I was like, oh, okay, they can actually play defense. Good to know.
Shout out to ESPN Analytics, who predicts us to lose each of our next 5 games.
ESPN Analytics is ran by Stephen A. Smith, who just cries.
It's based on what will make him cry the most.
Oh my God, Trae Young! They could have had Trae Young if they traded up in the draft. Zion Williamson, they didn't win the lottery. Zion Williamson, Donovan Mitchell was a star. You need a superstar. You can't do it without Donovan Mitchell, even though he choked in the playoffs. But you can't.
Damn, why did we play Cleveland twice?
Because the league wants to milk it.
So we can beat their heads in again?
On Halloween, mind you.
Ooh, Max Strus. Ooh, Georgia CA.
Bro, he had 27 and 12 tonight, bro. They
What?
might not be lying, bro.
That's insane.
No, they're definitely lying. I'm just like, that's wild. You let Max Strus get 27 and 12 on your head top.
It's the Nets.
Jesus.
Cam Thomas had like 36. Like,
I don't think Max Strus has ever had 12 rebounds in a game before. He's not a good rebounder.
Max Strus getting rebounds in your franchise. Ben Simmons, what happened? I thought Ben Simmons was supposed to be strapping shit. What happened?
Nick Claxton had 3 defensive rebounds in 28 minutes. That's great.
DPOY, baby. Remember, he's the anchor. He's an anchor.
Losing a game where Cam Thomas goes for 36 on 21 shots is bad.
Special type of losing.
Yeah, that's a really bad loss against. Yeah, I don't know. Especially Cleveland didn't even have They didn't have Jared Allen tonight.
No.
So you should have won this defensive rebound battle. You should have won this rebounding battle for sure in that case.
Yeah,
they kind of did. They're next to got 13 offensive rebounds, so it's not a good rebounding team. Cleveland, shout out to them. I feel pretty okay with what I saw from the Knicks tonight. That's where I'm at with this.
Yeah, I mean, I think First game of the season. You got good production from, like you said, 3 through 9. And offensively, RJ had a better start than most season openers, and Quickley was definitely way better than most season openers, and you'll take that any day of the week. Um, but yeah, if they can continue this, and then I expect Brunson to be better. Randall, I don't know.
That's
Randall seems to.
that's real
Randall seems what?
That's some real hating right there.
It's because Randall has this weird thing where every other year he has to be good, and every other year he has to be bad. So this is lining up to be a bad year. We'll see with Randall. Brunson, I fully trust him to get back on track. Randall, we'll see. But yeah, Terry's your thoughts before we head out of here.
I just need us to be serious for Friday. It's the Atlanta Hawks. If we let Trae Young get his game off, it might be insufferable. I don't need to see this. I don't need to see this.
Might,
because he's gonna milk that playoff series another year, and I don't need that kind of energy in my life.
Yeah. Well, it's not even a might. It's definitely, all the media will run with it too. But yeah, I think we will end things off here. Shout out to everyone that came through and listened and watched. Make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe. We are on our way to 1K subs, so all that you do does definitely help us out. We will be back on Friday versus the Atlanta Hawks. Make sure you guys check out all the links in the description. We got links to the site, merch, Patreon. Definitely sign up for that to get access to Schwinn Show. There's also a tier where you can.
I'm sorry, can I read this?
Yeah.
This is like an actual thing. Billy Donovan says when he walked into the Bulls locker room tonight, players were already in heated conversations. He asked if they wanted him to leave to handle conflict. Players said yes, so he did. Donovan emphasized that embracing conflict is key for this year's roster. Donovan also emphasizes that this wasn't a huge blow-up. They weren't screaming at each other, and players echoed that in postgame. But frustration was clear. Zach LaVine criticized the second half response. I don't think we played with enough heart. This is the first game of the season, bro. First game of the season. What how are you freaking out about this already? That's wild to me. I'm sorry, I had to read that.
You tell me the Chicago Bulls aren't coming, bro?
Yeah. Let's don't worry, we got the real boring Brunson answers today.
Oh,
I need to be better first and foremost. I hold myself to a higher standard.
Classic Brunson.
Julius Randle. There are certain plays that we wish we could have made and we didn't. I hate when he does this.
The we thing.
I hate
the we thing. The we thing.
Oh, was it we, Julius? It was we, huh? Yeah. Yeah, we.
The
I.
we thing.
Try I.
Love speaking French. He loves speaking French.
We we got to look at the tape. No, we don't. You
do.
You look at the tape. Try not to spin into a double team, fucking prick.
Also, I don't know, Joe, the way they spelled Tom Thibodeau's name on one of these tweets, like they spelled it THOBIDAU.
Oh my god!
They would. Somebody, Zach needs to get his stuff together for SNY Media, bro.
Journalism 101. Oh man! All right, I think now we can end things off. Links to the Patreon. We got access to the Discord, and there are several shows, including Schwinn Show in one of the tiers. So definitely check that out. We also got links to, I said the merch, I said the site, I said Patreon, and Twitter. Follow us on Twitter.
And just so people know, the this week, Strick and Roll and the Pod Circle and the Friday Show, they're all going to be made free. So you can check those out in full and see kind of like what you get out of the subscription if you subscribe to the Patreon. The Discord is not free this week because if we let you in, it's kind of hard to just like
kick you out.
Yeah. So, but it is fun. So if you subscribe, you get access to that too.
All right. We will catch you guys on Friday. Everyone have a good night and enjoy your Thursday.
I won't. We lost.
All right.